my parents are refugees, sacrificed everything just so I could have the opportunities in front of me. And so I feel like I would be doing them a disservice to not excel at everything that I do. You have to have people that you aspire to be like. You want to be remembered. You want to be great. Who is inspired by someone that's average? Hulu and just chill. But I think if you really want to be excellent, you will have a plan, right? Like, are you okay with people outperforming you?
Welcome back to another episode of the Winners Club podcast, where even when we don't win, we learn, and learning is a form of winning. My name is Brian Tran, your host. I got my co-host here, PJ Padua.
What's up, guys?
And today we brought back on a guest. You guys, from the very beginning, may know her, may recognize her. Got none other than Maria Duong on the channel.
Hello, guys. So
Hello,
happy
hello.
to be here. Really excited to do this again with you guys. It's always a pleasure.
We had to bring you on back because the topic today is living a life of excellence. And there's none other than you who I see as the epitome of it. And so before we dive into what it is to live a life of excellence, I want to just catch up with you, and I want to hear what's been new. It's been about a year now. What kind of excellence have you achieved?
First and foremost, thank you so much. That's high praise coming from you. I really appreciate that. And a lot has happened in this year since we last did our pod. Notably, I've joined the 50 Hills family. Absolutely love it. I had the honor of being one of California's Association of Realtors Rising Star, which is a great honor that they select 10 up-and-coming realtors in the whole state of California, which, is a huge state.
Yep.
So that was a huge honor, and I've been, staying busy, closing deals, but most importantly, learning from everybody around me.
What's three things you've learned this year that were like, that you got to share with the audience?
Let's see. I think one of the big things that I've learned this year is for every dollar that you make from your business, you should be reinvesting at least 25 cents of that. So that really changed my perspective on how I viewed my business, right? It's great to make money from a business, but if you're not actively reinvesting in your business, you're not going to allow it to grow, right? It might just stay stagnant if you're not reinvesting in it. The second thing that I would say that I learned is definitely the out-of-state investing. So I'm a huge fan of the events that we throw here and just learning from you, right? You're a living, breathing example of that. And so to be surrounded by people that are doing things that I aspire to do, it's kind of changed my perspective and my goals. So I think I'm aiming a lot higher than I was a year ago.
Dang,
Love
right.
it. Love it.
And then the third thing that I've learned, the third thing that's like changed since a year ago, I would say, is my mindset.
Love it.
But you had a strong mindset before, so what do you think, like, what did you fortify?
So I've been reading a few books, and I think it's just changed my mindset as far as like what it takes to achieve true happiness and how that comes from your mindset and how you view things. And I think the number one thing I took away from all the books that I read is I don't take anything personal, right? Especially in this real estate business, it's easy sometimes to take things personal, get discouraged. And once I kind of mentally taught myself to not take things personal, I saw a big spurt of growth.
I love that. That's amazing. Because honestly, like, I don't know. It's everything you said is like I relate to. I love that.
But you know what? In this business, everybody takes things so personal.
Yeah.
I've dealt with this so many times. It's like when agents leave and they join us, people get mad.
I mean, even sometimes like people take like life personal, like, when life's just acting and reacting to you, like people take that personal, like whether it's a ticket or whether it's like you're late to a lunch or something.
The problem is that people don't understand where it came from. So like I actually got into an argument this morning I was like, do you see why I responded the way that I responded? Like, it's not like you can blame me, but I'm like, that's a result of you being dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, but everybody wants to be nobody wants to be at fault, and everybody wants to think that they're always right. Yeah. And then they always want to feel like they're entitled to having it their way. This ain't Burger King. All right?
Far from
and keep it business, keep it separate.
I love it. I love it.
I would say so. Like a lot of times, like you were saying, when bad things happen to people, they're like, well, why me? Why me? Why me? Instead of just accepting things for what they are and moving past it. Also in this business too, it's like, in real estate especially, like when things happen to you, people are just, they take it as an attack towards them, like, oh, you must not like me, or you're disrespecting me, when really it's just like remove the emotions from it and you'll be able to move a lot more smoothly. And that's the number one thing I learned, because I am a pretty emotional person, but once I was able to detach my emotions from just conducting business, I saw a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
Rising, soaring. That's where you hear the eagle. What? I love it. I love it. Well,
but let's talk about, let's go back. So now we can dive a little deeper.
Yes.
Right? What does it mean to live a life of excellence?
I love it.
Because that's so broad. But Maria, please explain.
Okay. Well, I love that topic, right? Because that's literally like how I live my life. And I say that because like with all the things that I do, whether it's golfing, which is one of my biggest hobbies, cooking, real estate, I strive to do it at the highest level.
Yeah.
And the reason why I do that is because, I think of the sacrifices that were made for me to be in this position. My parents are refugees, they came to a foreign country, don't speak the language, sacrificed everything just so I could have the opportunities in front of me. And so I feel like I would be doing them a disservice to not excel at everything that I do.
Yeah.
And also, on another note, I'm highly competitive, right? So I thrive by having peers around me, and I like to, I'm not necessarily saying like I want to beat them, but I do want to be the best, right?
For sure.
So, and I think that's what excellence is, right? You're not okay with just going through the motions. You're not okay with just being average and getting by.
Yeah.
You want to be remembered. You want to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how I live a life of excellence. I think I am always learning, which is how I'm able to live this life of excellence, right? I'm never satisfied with where I'm at. I always feel like there's something I can learn, something I could be doing better to get better results.
Yeah. I love that. In terms of like the day-to-day, like from a day perspective, like what does that mean for you of like excellence, like for Maria?
I would say for me, living a life of excellence, like on my day-to-day is absolutely like optimizing each hour in the day, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall into comfort and routine and just be like, okay, like, I got my work done for the day, so I'm just going to chill. I'm just going to, watch Netflix, watch Hulu and just chill. But I think if you really want to be excellent, you will have a plan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? I have 2 hours of free time. I'm going to use these 2 hours to get myself closer to the goals that I've set for myself.
Not stopping, keeping that fire alive.
I love it. I think like when I hear like living a life of excellence, it really, from a day perspective, it means not leaving anything left in the tank, right? Like you worked all day, but you still have like half a tank left. You still got some work to do. So using every single bit of your energy and then recharging the next day and just going straight at it. I think that is the epitome of living of excellence.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like if you are sitting in bed and you think like, oh, I didn't get X, Y, and Z done, then like you didn't optimize your day, right? Like if you can look back at your day and be like, oh, wow, I accomplished everything that I set out to accomplish, then that's like, a good day to me.
Yeah.
I also think like to live a life of excellence, you need to have balance in your life, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so easy for people to just be like work, but then your social battery, your mental is all depleted. So I think it's also about balance, right? Like if you go hard for 5 days straight, it's cool. Give yourself a day, to kind of chill.
For sure.
So I think that's also living a life of excellence, right? Is living a life that is sustainable.
Yeah.
Right?
For
like
sure.
It's so easy for people to hop on these podcasts and just be like, wake up at 4 a.m. and just every day grind. Like that's not sustainable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, excellence doesn't have to be categorized as like everything business. It could be like whatever fills your cup or, your family and doing, you kind of have to define it yourself at the end of the day,
absolutely.
So I want to ask you, Brian, though, like for you, what does it mean to like live a life of excellence?
So by my definition, again, because it's what I want, it's always business and family.
Yeah.
And so it's those two things.
Yeah, that's cool,
right?
though. That's cool.
But that's my definition. But but the thing is that excellence is just, I do exactly what Maria said. I do the best that I can.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I constantly strive for more.
Yeah. I love that, man. I think for like all the listeners that are listening, maybe someone's like, how do I really know if I am living my life of excellence? I feel like by the time you go to bed and you're happy with everything that you've done at the day and you could sleep well, you're probably living a life of excellence. But if you're sleeping, you're thinking still, you're like, oh man, I wish I could have done this. I could have done that. Like tomorrow I'll make it better. Yeah. You have to do some tweaking in my opinion, because you're not using every single bit of time that you have to push the needle forward.
I I agree with that. I also think, to live a life of excellence, you have to have people that you aspire to be like. You have to have people that inspire you. And so for me, like one thing I do, like in my at my home, like I like to have photos of greatness. So I have Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Muhammad Ali, Nipsey Hussle, people that I that inspire me and that I see as greatness, and just being around that and seeing reminders each day really helps me. And I also think like, okay, what would Kobe do in this situation? He would be there before his competitors. He would be outworking his competitors, right? Sure. Like for me, I'm thinking it like, okay, if he's making 20 calls a day, I need to make 30. So I think that's also excellence there is pushing the envelope and like seeing greatness and then pushing past that, right? Like, so that's another reason why I really like 50 Hills, right? I'm surrounded by people that are actively doing the right things, and it sets the tone for me, right? I'm like, okay, he did 5 appointments. I want to do 10. And that's
Randy Garcia.
that's true excellence, right? Is pushing past what's, like you see something as good, but you want to push past it. You want to be excellent.
Yeah. I like that.
Man, I don't know.
I like that.
She said everything.
Nah, she's killing it.
I don't have any questions, honestly, but I'm just trying to think like, well, because
this will be the substitute when you're gone.
The next question that people was going to ask is like, how do you find that fire?
Yeah.
How do you find that fire? I know you said your parents came here with nothing, but like not everybody has that driving factor, right? They don't have that upbringing.
Yeah, they don't have like that same story.
And people ask me that. I'm like, because I came from the same story where it's like my parents were immigrants. They came here with nothing. Don't speak no damn English. Then, they risked everything for us to have a better life. So I don't waste this opportunity. I don't waste the opportunity to be great. Yeah. Right? But I'm trying to like put myself in the listeners that don't have that. Like, how can we create that fire for them? Yeah. And ultimately, it's gonna be up to them to find that fire. But are there any tips?
Yeah. What do you
think?
It
comes down to mindset, right? Like, are you okay with people outperforming you? Like, are you okay, like, seeing yourself? Like, I guess to put things into perspective, especially if you're in real estate, right? Like, it's like being a professional athlete. Like, all of your stats is public information. They can see how much business you're doing, right? Yeah. And so one thing that fuels my fire is like, I don't want to be number 7. I'm trying to work my way to number 1, I'm trying to stay at number 1. So that's, I guess, the competitiveness is what really fuels me. And then also one of my big goals is to inspire other people, right? You can't really inspire people if you're not great, right?
Of course.
Who's inspired by someone that's average? Like, I can't think of anybody, right? People are inspired by greatness. And so that's what really pushes me, because one day I'm sure there are some people that I inspire now, but I would love to be someone to, just inspire my community, show them that you can become great even from humble beginnings. Or even if you don't have humble beginnings, like say you're somebody that was born into, middle class or like a wealthy lifestyle, you can push past that, right? Yeah. You can keep pushing the envelope higher and higher regardless of where you started.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I think, to all listeners, I just want to, tie it in. I think, what Maria's saying is like the fire comes from the purpose, and the purpose of like changing like another one's life, in addition to like her own life, but, it goes deeper than that, because it's, helping the community, right? Showing somebody else that's like, hey, you can change your life. You can live this, do whatever you want.
I'm going to give you guys one more.
I like it. Go.
All right.
Go.
Well, it comes back to like that driving force, right? I always look at people. I'm like, man, what are they doing differently? Yeah. And when I actually find out that they're just so normal, or sometimes even borderline special, like not in the high performance, but they're like a little special. I'm like, how the heck does he sell that many homes?
Gives he fire?
And I'm like, what's wrong with me? And then it gets me fired up, and I'm like, all right, and I'm gunning it. Because there's a lot of people where you're like, I don't know how you're successful.
Sometimes that's all that you need. You need to just be like, you know what? I'm not a normal person. I'm a way more than that.
Comparison is a thief of all joy, but sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, yo, if they can do it, you can do it too.
For sure. I like that. I'll add some tips. I think, to find that fire, I think, it's hard in the beginning, especially if you don't know, like, where you want to go, whether that's left or right. But I think if you could just really chase that feeling of excitement, because for me, that was like the only thing that really pushed me through, like with business or whatever endeavors I want to do. I was like, dude, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to put out a new video, or I'm excited to go like shake a new hand and see if there's like an opportunity out there. Like, it's kind of like chasing that feeling when, you know, like you're in 3rd grade and you're about to go on a field trip and you're just so excited. Like if
wow.
you could just
That
find
was-
something, right? That was
such
the
a
feeling.
fire feeling. I
Yeah.
was like,
So
oh.
any way that could like replicate that for me, I was just like, all right, if I could do something that's, you know, legal, not no drugs, no alcohol, nothing that's going to get me excited. I was like, I think I'm going in the right place.
You know what's funny is that
What's
like
up?
it's so funny you brought that up because I get more excited when we make $3 off of YouTube.
I just,
and
yeah.
$3 off of TikTok than I do when I make, you know,
100 grand or
and it's
something.
like, yeah, a lot more
Yeah.
off the flip. It's so crazy, but it's
Yeah.
like, yo, we did that. We made $3 on that new venture.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
Yeah.
because it's new.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to make it successful as the other companies.
Yeah.
But now the other companies, they you know, they do what they do, and it makes way more. But it's like, all right, whatever.
You're
you know,
used
like,
to it. You're
ah,
used
like
to it. It's
this.
not exciting, right? And that's
Yeah.
the thing about, like, in my opinion, it ties back into like excellence, right? Excellence isn't comfortable. It's not like the same. It's not stagnant. It's always exciting. It's new. It's growing. You know?
That's really it for me. And also, like, I think about like the life I'm living, right? When I look back, do I want to be like, oh, like I said, I left all this on the table. I could have really done more. I want to look back and be like, I really pushed it to the limit. I went as hard as I possibly could go, and I want to look back at my life with no regrets.
Like,
Yeah.
damn, I look where I was living then.
You know?
Look at me living now.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
gotta do things at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like anything that you do, if you're half-assing it, it's
Yeah.
a waste of time.
Yeah.
Like, you want to make every move you make needs to be with intention, with purpose, right? And so even if it's something little, right? Like you say you like playing ping pong or like
Yeah.
you like chess or something, like
Yeah.
play it at the highest level,
Yeah,
you know,
for
strive
sure.
to be better than you were. And I feel like if you have that mindset with everything you do in life, you're going to be successful no matter what, because you're always striving for more. And I think, you know, a lot of people, especially successful people, they hit a certain level of success and they're happy with that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's what makes me different, because I'm not.
True.
I love it. Well, I know Maria got to close hella deals and stuff
Yeah,
and do hella
exactly.
showings. So I just want to end this here. But Maria, you want to say anything? Just give a little people some more juice before we end this.
I would just say, you know, thank you so much for this opportunity. I love that you guys have created a platform to kind of connect like-minded individuals. And I hope that, you know, what I said today inspires someone. And I also want to just say, like, you know, shout out to you two. You guys inspire me. Brian, you know, like you being an entrepreneur, always striving for more, and also, you know, just brainstorming with me, giving me ideas on how I can grow my business. I really, really appreciate it. And you guys have a wonderful thing going on here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Keep rocking. Appreciate you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Peace.
Guys. Peace.